Hey everybody, I hope you're having a great Saturday afternoon. It's early afternoon and I have been in the kitchen all morning. You can see I've been making lahmacun all morning long, and it's like what I do on the weekend. I love to, and it was so crappy out this morning that it was like, okay, it's the perfect day to be in the kitchen and start making all kinds of stuff to put in the freezer, right? And now the sun is out. Mother Nature is really bipolar, but now the sun is out, but it's too late. I'm already stuck inside cooking all day for the rest of the day. So I decided to try to make a new recipe, and from my understanding, it's a Turkish recipe, and I know I'm gonna butcher the name. Shish Barak, Shish Barak, I think. I don't know, I hope I'm saying it right. It's like a meat dumpling, and it looked amazing to me. I've never made them before, so we're gonna learn together today, hopefully. And it kind of made me think of when my mother-in-law makes the kubba in the yogurt with the mint. I absolutely love that. I love the way my mother-in-law makes it. So this looks kind of similar to that, but just with a dough shell on the outside. So I figure, what the hell, I'm gonna try it because it looks good. I've never made it. I kind of wrote myself some notes here so that I don't miss any steps and I don't forget. So, you know, the filling is sort of like what we would normally do for like potato chop or kubba. The only thing that I noticed that was really different is it has pine nuts in it. So if you're not a fan of pine nuts, or if you don't, or if you have a nut allergy, or somebody in the family has a nut allergy, I would say you could probably just leave them out and just go with, you know, the meat, the onion, the garlic, and it would still be amazing. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the filling. And I started already. I already started to cook my onion. I have onion. I have a whole white onion in here, and I have 4 cloves of garlic. And you need 1 pound of ground chuck for this. 1 pound of ground chuck. This I had in the fridge from yesterday where I defrosted it. And you're gonna make it just like you would the filling for, like I said, the potato chop and all that. The only difference was the pine nuts. And I probably should, I'm thinking maybe I should put the pine nuts in the food processor and give them a swirl so they're not like chunky in there. I don't know, I've never made this, so I'm gonna think it through, or maybe chop them coarsely with a knife. So the meat, all we're gonna add to the meat is a little bit of salt, okay, about a teaspoon of salt. This is exactly how I make filling for potato chop usually. Onions, garlic, you know. So right now in here, just so you know, I have 1 whole white onion, 5 cloves of garlic chopped, 1 pound of ground chuck. I just put in 1 teaspoon of salt, and it's calling for just a teaspoon of allspice. I don't know, I think I like allspice. I might add a little bit extra. And you know how I am, when I start to make a recipe, I sort of just do what I want to do. All right, so I think I'm gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of allspice, because that's a pound of ground beef in there. To me, it doesn't seem like 1 teaspoon would be enough, but you never know. Okay, let's do 1.5 teaspoons. That's what I did. I did 1.5 teaspoons of the ground allspice. Okay, regular straight up allspice, nothing fancy about that. It also doesn't call necessarily for some parsley, but I'm going to put parsley in it. So I'm basically following the same recipe, but just with a few things that I think I will like better. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and finish up browning the ground chuck. It's going to take me a few minutes. I think that the most complicated part about the whole recipe will be to make the dough, the shell. And if I'm understanding the recipe correctly, you do not have to allow the dough to rise. Once you make it, you roll it out. And we're going to use, they recommend using like a lid from oil or some kind of screw top lid to make, I mean, the circles are like that big. It's going to take me God knows how long to make these dumplings. Like, I'm already old as hell. By the time I'm done, I'll be celebrating my 80th or something, because they're like literally little circles, and then you have to fold them up. So I don't know, but I think it's going to be fun, and it's going to taste amazing, and I can't wait to like try it. So all I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause for a minute. I'm going to go finish browning the filling. Only other thing I'm going to throw in there is some parsley. I'll brown it. I'm going to set it on the side to cool, and then I'll come back and we'll make the dough together. And I think once the dough is made in the dumpling, everything else will go by pretty quick. So for the sauce, we're gonna use whole Greek yogurt and a cup of water, and that's how we're gonna make it with some mint and cilantro, and it should be amazing. So I'll be back once this is ground and we'll make the dough. Okay, so the meat's just about done browning, and I need to add these pine nuts. So I'm trying to make the decision if I want to chop them or not. I'm gonna just throw in the parsley because, I don't know, I love parsley, and I think it's gonna make the dumpling taste even better, right? I don't know. So it says a 1/4 cup of pine nuts, and that's literally about what I have left here in this container. I have about a 1/4 cup left. I'm just gonna give them like a rough chop. I think pine nuts are one of those things that like either you really like or you really don't like. I remember there was a time that I did not like the flavor of pine nuts, and my taste has changed, and now I don't mind them so much. Especially when they're in something, I don't mind them. So I'm just giving them a kind of a little rough chop with my knife. I guess you could throw them in a food processor and make your life easier, but you know, it's okay. We're just gonna chop them roughly. And I'm gonna throw them in with the meat because that's what it says to do. So here we go. Oh, I hope I like it. In it goes. Okay. And now I'm just gonna give it a stir, sauteing for a few minutes. It smells amazing. It smells just like my filling for everything else we make, right? This is like, I think that this filling is like the same as like Taco Bell. So like we make the same filling for potato chop and burek and all that with just a few variations. Kind of like when you go to Taco Bell, everything's the exact same, it just has a different shell, right? It makes me laugh. But anyway, I love this filling. So this is just a little variation on what we'd normally make, right? Okay, so it's nice and brown. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. I'm gonna leave it, I'm gonna set it aside, I'm gonna let it cool. And now we can start with our dough. I'm just gonna pause so I can readjust the camera, and then we'll come back and we'll make the dough and we'll see how it goes. I think I might have to recruit the kids to make the dumplings. All right, so now I'm ready to try to make this dough. And really, when I'm reading it, it's very similar to the dough that you would make for like lahmacun or something like that. The only thing that I'm seeing that's a little different is this is only calling for a 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. So I put a 1/4 teaspoon of yeast in this bowl, and this is the yeast I use, okay? I get it from Kroger, and I don't know if you can read that. It says fast rise yeast, ideal for bread machines, okay? This is the one I usually get at Kroger. This jar is like $6 or something though, so yeast is kind of more expensive. Okay, so I put what they said, a 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, and it's saying 1/8 of a teaspoon of sugar. And I think I'm not gonna do that. I think I'm gonna do the same amount of sugar as I did with the yeast. So let me just grab this 1/4 teaspoon of sugar right here. I'm gonna put a 1/4 teaspoon in there. Okay, so I'm adjusting it a little bit for what I think, even though I've never made this before. I don't know why I think I'm doing it. I don't even know why I'm doing it differently. Anyways, okay. And now we have to activate the yeast. So we're gonna use some warm water. And we're gonna do, let me get my measuring cup. I'm gonna do a 1/4 cup of warm water in with that, okay? A 1/4 cup warm. I already warmed up my water before. Okay, I'm gonna put a 1/4 cup in there, and that's gonna like activate the yeast and get it to start foaming up. So usually with yeast, you need to let it set for a while, like maybe five minutes or so. So I'm gonna give it about 5 minutes. I'm gonna measure out the flour in another bowl. And it's telling me that I need to do 5 cups of flour, okay? That sounds, I don't know, that sounds like a hell of a lot of dumplings. I might have to be freezing some. I mean, when I tell you that they're small, they're small. Maybe I can make them bigger. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just gonna move the yeast aside for now. And we're gonna do 5 cups of all-purpose flour. I start these projects, and then I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Why did I start this? I might have to go grab another bag of flour too, because I'm not sure I'm gonna have enough in my container here. So that's a cup. Yeah, I'm almost positive gonna be a lot of dumplings. I'm not so sure about this. There's 2 cups. That's 3. Oh, I might have enough. There's 4. I'm not being real diligent about, yeah, I'm gonna have just about enough. Right there, I'm just gonna empty it all in there because that's about right. 5 cups, you should probably measure, but I can tell from looking at it, okay? So the yeast is a little bit foamy. It doesn't take long because this is the fast rise yeast, okay? It's telling me to add 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt, okay? This looks good, you guys. I hope it tastes good, and I hope I don't screw it up. So I'm gonna put that right in with the flour. There's the 1, here's my 1/4. Okay, right in there. What else do we have to do? We have to, okay, that's it for the dough. So now, all we gotta do is add this. How is this gonna, I don't know how this is gonna work. We're gonna add it right in there. Let's see. And I'm gonna have to put some gloves on because I like to keep my hands clean when especially if I'm making, dough that people are gonna eat. You have to have your hands super clean or you need to wear gloves, okay? And now you're gonna add the 2 1/4 cup of warm water. So for right now, I'm just gonna add it a little bit at a time, okay? And I'm gonna get another 1/4 cup, and it's warm, okay? So I added just half, like I have 2 1/4 cups of hot water, warm water that I'm gonna add to the dough. And I'm only adding it a little bit at a time. Gosh, I hope you guys are busy because this is gonna be a long video, I think. I'm gonna, I try so hard to make them like where they're not too long, but okay. So and my counter's nice and clean so that I can roll the dough on it and everything like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna use my gloved hand and I'm gonna start mixing the flour, the yeast, the sugar, and everything all together to form the dough. And this is gonna be a lot of dough. I used for the lahmacun, I think I used 5 cups too today, and that's a lot of dough, sister. And it's interesting because most of the time, like for the lahmacun and stuff, you have to leave the dough and allow it to rise. And also that yeast helps it to rise too. So I'm wondering, that must be the reason why they're only using that little bit of yeast, because they don't want the dough to like rise too much. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a dumpling. It's supposed to be heavier, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna add, have any of you guys made this? Okay, I'm gonna add the rest of the water. Okay, I'm afraid to add it all because it seems like it's gonna be too much liquid. So I poured almost all of that. I still have like a 1/2 cup of water left. Okay, no, it might be good. I'm still mixing. I'm gonna let you know how we're doing. I usually end up with flour all over whatever I have on. Okay, here we go. While I'm doing this video, somebody asked me, a couple people have messaged me, and I know I went on and I said that I haven't been doing makeup and all that. Well, I keep getting asked and I keep doing it. And I've been asked several times about Halloween makeup, and yes, I am available to do Halloween makeup if you need me. Just private message me, okay? This still looks pretty good. I haven't added so I only added 1.5 cups of water in there, and I think that this dough is like good. I'm afraid to add any more water to it because it will be too sticky. Okay, so I think we might be good. Yeah, because see, I mean, it's forming a nice ball, and it's not, if I add more liquid, it's gonna be super sticky. So I'm not gonna add more. So the only water I added was the 1/4 cup to activate the yeast, and then 1.5 cups in the actual dough, okay? I'm just gonna even get rid of this because I'm not using it. I don't need any more liquid. I'm gonna take, I have to grab some more flour to flour my counter. I might have some underneath over there, I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna pause for 1 minute so that I can go and grab some more flour so that I can knead the dough on my counter here, okay? So let me pause just for a minute. This dough feels pretty nice, you guys. Look, I'm gonna show you up close. Looks pretty good. It's not too sticky, a little bit. Once I flour my surface and knead it, I think it'll be good, okay? So give me just a minute to go grab another bag of flour and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I just put a little bit of flour on my counter right here. And I'm gonna get rid of the bowl. It's really, the dough is really nice and soft and bounces back. It feels really good. Now, this is a huge thing of dough. I'm gonna cut it in half, I think, and roll it a little bit at a time, because I think it'll just make my life easier, okay? And let me just show you kind of what I've got going on, okay? All right, so this is the dough. This is what I have going on, all right? Looks really good. Whether or not it will be, who knows? I'm gonna cut it. I'm just gonna cut it in half so that I can, maybe I'll cut it in fours, okay? All right, so what I did is I just cut it into 4 separate pieces. I'm gonna put it in that little bowl. That way I can work with smaller amount and see how I do. All right, so I need to get a lid to cut the dumpling. So I have to figure out what kind of lid I'm gonna use to do that. So give me 1 minute, let me pause and go grab a lid. We'll roll out our dough and we'll see how we do. I'll be right back. All right, this is the lid I decided on from my oil. This is the cap from the oil, and I'm gonna use that as a cutter, okay, for the dumplings. So I have my rolling pin here, and you need to make it pretty thin, okay? You wanna roll out the dough pretty thin. But make sure your flour, your counter is floured, because I can see that it wants to stick a little bit, and you don't want that to happen, okay? So I'm gonna keep rolling. It's always fun for me. I love to try new recipes. Even if I fail at it, at least I can say I tried it and I made it, you know, something, experimented to see. All right, I have this pretty thin, you guys. I don't know how much thinner I need to make it. I'll make a cut and I'll show you how thin it is, okay? Hang on 1 second. Okay. All right, here we go. Here's my cap. This is pretty thin. And what they did in the thing was they just went around, I'm gonna flour it, and they cut these little circles. Wow, these are small, you guys. I'm freaking out. How long is it gonna take me to do this, right? Why is everything so complicated in your culture? Like, Middle Eastern food is so complicated. I'm just gonna do this row, and the meat portion is cooling. Holy hell, you guys, look how small this is. Look, can you see that? Can you see how small this disc is? That's the size of the dumpling that they showed. Okay, looks pretty good. The dough's amazing. I'm just gonna keep going and cutting these little circles for the next 20 years. And when I'm done, I'll come back. We'll try to fill them. These are so damn small. Like, are they serious right now? Okay. We'll fill them and we'll make the yogurt, and we'll see. We'll see if it's a go, a yay, or a nay for our recipe here. You guys, seriously. Somebody come rescue me. Somebody come help me fold dumplings. All right, after I'm done cutting them all, I'll be back. We'll fill them and we'll try to make the sauce and see how we do. I'll be right back. Well, not right back. Okay, you guys. I'm already exhausted, and I've only done this many, okay? So that's from the first time I rolled it out. We gotta make these bigger or something. I mean, what are they feeding the whole country over there in Turkey with these dumplings? Look how much dough I have left. Hello? Hello? I'll be here for days making dumplings. Are they crazy right now? Okay, this is what I'm saying. I would charge you guys $1,000 to make this dish for you. Seriously, this is so labor intensive that, can you imagine, there's like these women stand and make these all day long. I'm all about trying it, but Mama, my dumplings are gonna be a lot bigger. So this time around, okay. but you know my dumplings are gonna get bigger as I go. So all right, let's fill one and see. So they were saying like use about this is ridiculous, a 1/4 teaspoon to fill each little disc. Okay, so here's my little 1/4 teaspoon. All day, it's gonna take me all day. Okay, and then you just kind of like fold it together in the middle and then fold it up on the sides and pinch it in the middle. I don't even know, this is so small, I feel like you probably can't even see what I'm doing, okay? And then that's what you do. Then you have this little tiny, cute dough dumpling. I mean, I've made 3. They're so damn small. I mean, okay, I don't know. All right, well, I'm gonna go finish these, and then I'll come back and make the yogurt sauce when I'm ready, and we'll try them. But I think I might end up like putting like 2 discs together and making a dumpling, because this is gonna take all day, right? But anyways, okay, I'll be back. Let me go finish these. Okay, I just hopped back on to give you a little update on where I'm at right now. I've already done like a whole tray, and I put them in the freezer because I don't want the dough to get too soft. I got a little smarter, and instead of using the oil cap lid like they recommended, are they crazy? Like seriously? No. I took the cap off of my cooking spray, and I've been using that. So you know how I cut the dough into quarters? I've already done 3 of them. I've already rolled 3 of them and cut them, and I still have like a little bit over there, and I keep having to roll it and do them. This better be good, is all I can say. I'm gonna finish. I wanted to show you kind of how they look like. Okay, the size of them. They look like that, okay? And you kind of pinch them in the middle like that. I pinch them and twist them so they kind of look like a little Hershey's Kiss or like a little bag or something. And that's gonna be your dumpling. You wanna make sure that the dough is kind of even all the way across, because you don't want one really thick dumpling and then one really skinny dumpling. But I gotta say, this is truly the most labor-intensive thing I think I've ever made as far as Middle Eastern food goes. But I just wanted to kind of fill you in. And I'm using like this spoon, and I'm just going and putting a little filling on each thing. Okay, so let me show you before I roll it, okay? Okay, so I'm kind of putting about that much filling, right? And then I take the side and I pull it up in the middle. I had to take my gloves off, and I have to get a new pair because my hands were hot, so I'll just show you this one. And then I just pull it up in the middle and pinch it in the middle and kind of twist it. Pinch and twist, like that. And it makes this cute little dumpling, okay? So I'm gonna go wash my hands and put more gloves on and finish up the rest of the dough, but I kind of wanted to hop on and like update that I used a bigger lid, and I think it's still gonna be good. So I'll be back when it's time to make the yogurt sauce, and hopefully, I mean, I don't know how many of these you need to put in the pot, so I'll estimate. I'll be back. Okay, girls. Well, now that I've rolled about 7,000 little dumplings, I am finally ready to make the stew part of it. At least I think I am. I mean, I have everything ready. I had thrown the dumplings into the freezer because I didn't want them to get mushy. So they look really good. They look kind of cute. I ended up using that cooking spray lid, and it worked out better because I'd still be rolling dumplings if I didn't. So now I'm gonna make the stew part. So I'm kind of new to it, and we'll see how. Hey, get over here. Robbie's home, so he can help. Come here, babe. Come say hi to the ladies. He's being shy. You know how shy he is. Say hi.
Hi, ladies.
Lily. You want to help me?
Yeah, what's that?
Those are the dumplings that I've spent all morning. He came home and said,
Oh.
"What are you even doing?" I've been rolling dumplings for hours. Okay, what'd you do?
Yogurt.
You don't put your thing in it.
Okay.
Okay. You want help?
Yeah.
Okay, here, I'm gonna start. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in my favorite pot. Y'all know I have this favorite pot. And I'm gonna put it on like a medium heat. I'm just gonna put just the smallest bit. Seriously, what are you doing? Oh my God, he's the worst to have on. Babe, he's eating the lahmacun. How many have you already had?
Just so good.
Okay, he said it's so good. Okay, I chopped up 4 cloves of garlic. I thought he was gonna help. His help is eating what I've made. Okay, wait. I'm gonna put in 4 cloves of chopped garlic. Just in about a tablespoon of olive oil in the bottom, just until it starts to become fragrant. You're just gonna stir around the garlic, and just until we can start smelling the
Maybe
garlic.
some more oil?
No, just a little bit. No, just stir it around, baby. You don't want the garlic to burn. I worked 7 hours on a dumpling. He's gonna screw it up in 5 minutes with the garlic. Okay, now, this is what you gotta do. You're gonna take 5 cups of Greek yogurt. I need that. 5 cups.
I can do it.
Okay, here, dump that in there. You wanna do that? Okay. 5 cups of Greek yogurt into the pot. 1 cup of water. 1 cup of water. Now, and they were very stern on this part, and they said you got to continually stir the yogurt, and you want to keep cooking it until it starts to boil. Okay, and then once it starts to boil, go put that in a sink, Lippy. And then here, you got to stir with this thing, okay? And you got to keep stirring, Lippy. You got to keep stirring.
Okay.
Okay, because if we don't stir the yogurt, something bad's gonna happen.
All right.
And I already love the smell of it, you guys. Smell, babe, smell. That smell good? Okay, keep stirring, baby, okay? Okay, so he's gonna keep stirring it over this medium heat until the yogurt gets warm and it starts to boil. Once it starts to boil, I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of dried mint. And I'm gonna add, now they said a teaspoon of dried cilantro, but I have fresh cilantro in the house and I really, really like it. So I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons of fresh chopped cilantro because it's gonna really like bring that dish to life, I think. So this is gonna probably take us, did you see another one?
No.
What's in your mouth? Oh my God. Okay, yep, good job.
I'm not a big dipper.
Okay.
Like somebody I know.
I haven't had any. I've been cooking all morning, and I haven't had them yet. Did you put lemon on it?
No.
I chopped up lemon for you. Anyways, so we'll be back. I'm gonna let him keep doing this until it boils, and then I'll just add the cilantro, the mint. I'm gonna kind of add a mint into there like that, some pepper, salt, and the dumplings. And then you let it cook through for like 20 minutes, and then we're gonna taste it. So I'll be back as soon as this is done boiling, okay? Say bye to the ladies.
Bye, ladies.
You're fired. Okay. All right, well, he's been stirring and stirring and stirring for the last 3 seconds because he made me do it as soon as I turned off the
My
camera.
hand hurts.
Yes. So it started to come to a boil. I was constantly stirring it, and I see why they tell you to do that because you don't want the yogurt to separate. So it's boiling. Like if you stop stirring, it would be boiling. So now I'm gonna add in that cilantro, the fresh cilantro, which I love. We have to do about a teaspoonful of dry mint. Put it in there like that.
Oh, it smells amazing.
Does it smell amazing? Oh, I
Oh my
hope
God.
it's good, you guys. I'm so scared. Okay, now some pepper, which you know me and my pepper. I like things with some pepper, and a teaspoon of salt. About a teaspoon right there. Boop, in you go. All right. Now we can add the dumplings, and then it says to simmer them. So you're gonna turn the heat down and let it like simmer in there for about 20 minutes, okay? So I'm gonna gently add in these dumplings. I don't wanna like,
Should we put on low, babe?
well, yeah, like I'm gonna add the dumplings. Okay, stop stirring. And I'm gonna turn it down, and then I'm just gonna simmer the dumplings in the, do you wanna help me add these dumplings in there? Just drop them in. Be careful, because if they break, I'm gonna be so pissed. All right. Oh, that
Really?
one dumpling took me about an hour to do.
No. I'll eat it.
Oh yeah, right.
Babe, in Iraq, we don't throw anything away.
Yeah, well, guess what? I'm not. That's gross, babe. Okay. I don't know how many dumplings you think there are up here. Okay, Lippy, I love you. You're getting stuff everywhere.
Look who's talking.
What? Listen. Such a smart ass. Okay, almost done. Almost here. Add the rest of those. Okay, and then I'm gonna use this thing to.
That's
Oh my elbow. Okay, and I'm just gonna like stir it around with the spatula.
okay.
Lippy, don't push. Oh my God. Ow. Okay, so it smells good, and I have it on like low, and I'm just gonna simmer it for 20 minutes. It says 20 minutes. And then we'll come back and we'll let him taste it.
I'll taste it.
And we'll see. Hopefully it's good. Fingers
We'll
crossed.
see.
We'll be back.
I'll tell you. I'll let you guys know later.
We're back. It has been simmering away for about 20 minutes. What are you doing, baby?
It smells good.
It smells good? Okay. It's been simmering for about 20 minutes, and so now is the real test. I may have made a little bit of a mistake in the beginning. Maybe I had the flame a little bit too high when I first did the yogurt because it is separated a little bit, but it's my first time making it, so I think it's okay. Does it look okay, Libby? It's thick and it smells really good, and I think the dumplings will be good. Let Avi taste too, baby. Here's your spoon. You can see when you look at it, it kind of separated a little bit, the yogurt. It's nice and thick, but you guys, nobody can see you even trying it or what it looks like. Can you show them what it looks like, at least?
I
Oh my
want to eat it.
gosh.
It's hot.
It's hot, Libby.
Non-vegetarian though.
Yeah, exactly. And?
It's too hot for me.
It's too hot? Is it good?
Oh my god, yes.
No, is it really good?
It's really good.
Tastes
Is
like
it?
boba.
Yes.
It tastes like kubas?
Yeah.
Minty
Well,
kuba.
Okay, there you go. So this is the Turkish dumplings, the meat dumplings.
It's like
shish.
kebab.
What did I say? Shish Barak?
Shish Barak, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It tastes like
I will
kebab.
post the link below, all right? So you can follow it step by step. The only thing I maybe would have done different is try to do the yogurt a little slower and
Is there some
lower.
kind of nuts in there or something?
Pine nuts.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
And that's it, guys. I'll post a picture below. I love you. Thanks for watching, as always. Awafi.
You should make it.
And
And then post it and tag her.
Yeah.
good idea. Okay, I'll see y'all later. Have a great weekend. Say bye.
Bye,
Bye.
sisters.